All right, we can get started.
Right.
Okay. All right. So today we will talk about Horizon Report 2015 K-12 addiction. I'm Yu Ting. So the first part, I will talk about the key trends. There are three trends are included in this report. The first part is the long term, and the second part is midterm, and the last part is the short term. So in the first part, the long term impact trends driving at technology adoption in K-12 education for 5 or more years. So in this part, it talks about how the school works and they need to shift their learning approach from and the midterm impact is because the midterm is for 3 to 5 years. So it talks about increasing use of collaborative learning approach and shift from student as a consumer to creator. In this part, I have my own my experience, and I really agree this part because I think students should be the center of the class. You know, in the traditional way, teacher is the central part. Only the teacher talks and teach, but you know, sometimes we need to care about how what's the reaction student give to the teacher. So how to make student as consumer to creator, I think the teacher need to learn how to use the technology in the class, because as we all know, the technology can inspire students' interest into the class, and sometimes we can use the we can like the and what's that and yeah, and
Devices.
the like the Google campus, and the student can learn in the internet, right? So we need to combine the class, the face-to-face class, to the online class, and then I think it can improve students and let them learn more. And the last part is the short term. So short term is for 1 to 2 years, increasing use of blended learning and raise the STEAM learning. In this part, I'm curious about, is this learning approach is only for the STEAM learning? So do you know what is the STEAM?
The meaning of it, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
Yes. Because I'm curious about only the approach in this report is only for this subject, or we can use in another subject like the arts, the music, or another one. This is it's my curiosity.
It was discussed a little bit of how you can take into account, you know, the different things, and when you consider all of the trends, all three, the long-term, the midterm, and the short-term trends, then you begin thinking about how you can incorporate and have technology be, and that was discussed in the report as well, having technology be more ingrained into curriculum, so it does have all the approaches, it has all the subjects, all of the themes that you're going to be talking about, and make it more a true learning opportunity for the students, and what those challenges can bring. So because if you continue on to the next slide, we talk about what the challenges are when you have consider those long-term and midterm and short-term trends. And in the next slide, it talks about, you know, having your solvable challenges. which is, having those authentic learning opportunities that we talked about, that you were expressing your curiosity about, Yuding, and integrating technology into professional development, making authentic learning opportunities, and making sure that the teachers and the students are supported with digital competence, understanding that it's not just a superficial. And I think that's where my experience comes in, where a lot of districts and schools have technology. Yeah, we have smart boards. Yeah, we have this. Yeah, we have that. But are we really using it to have a deeper learning? Are the students, is it more teacher driven? Is it, more, what would we need to do? We can give them professional development. That's things that we can get together for a Friday or Wednesday afternoon and have the teachers all come together. But what support does that really need? And how that's changing what the job requirements are for teachers. Not only are they able to become facilitators, as you are, shifting from facilitators into this kind of type of environment where it's really talking about having that teacher develop that learning, using the technology tools at a very deep, not a superficial level, which is, I think, one of the challenges that are the difficult challenges when you talk about technology in the classroom.
And then to piggyback off that, on the next slide, we have a few more challenges. They talk about scaling teaching innovations and teaching complex thinking. And one of the things that the Horizon reports talked about was that all of these different trends all have an impact on policy. And so in order for us to really dive in and to really create those really those authentic teaching experiences and to use technology in a really authentic way, we're going to have to change the policy, because in the past couple of decades, we've kind of switched to a test focused approach with our curriculum and with our teaching. And this integration of technology and this focus on project-based learning doesn't really jive with that very well. So in order for us to really kind of embrace these new trends and really incorporate them into the classroom, policy is going to have to change. And so instead of focusing on the test and teaching to the test, we're going to have to start changing our policies so that it allows for us to do project-based learning, and it allows us to really integrate that technology in a meaningful way and in a relevant way. And so I've seen that kind of from my own experience, where I want to use the technology more. I want to really dive into it and not just use it in a very superficial way, but it's really hard to do when so much of the curriculum is focused on test taking and on learning how to pass a STAR test versus really learning for the sake of learning and for real world application. And so that's been one of the kind of interesting things we've seen with the Horizon report is, as we're looking at now on the screen, is the trends, 2 to 3 years with 3D printing, adaptive learning technologies. We're kind of seeing that the trends are accurate. These things are coming about in about the time span that they said, because this is from 2015. But we don't have 3D printing in most schools still, and some wearable technology. And I think a lot of that is because policies kind of hold us back, and it's really accepted and changed so that we can really implement this in an authentic way. These trends won't be the norm.
Absolutely. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Great discussion, guys. Thank you for the discussion.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.